Okay, so I wrote this down and now I'm not sure because time is it's a mush. So I came out and shortly after that I started drawing. But that doesn't really matter. What does matter is that I came out as non-binary and I haven't done much to explore my gender in the few years, which is almost 4 or 5 now. We're not doing good. What I done did, to get back on topic, please excuse my dear mental illness, is start looking into a few things that would not be fitting of my identity as boy. And one of those things was boyfriend dungeon. I figured it was like a thing for the girls slash boys who like the boyfriends and the dungeons. But I saw that there was a girl on the title screen, so I said, a girl in boyfriend dungeon? Surely there must be something for little old me around these parts. I don't know anymore. I wrote something down here to quote the great con man Alex Jones. I like women, not men. However, I remember now that I've had a few crushes on men, and one of those was real for a little bit. I ended up getting past that. But anyway, look at the boys. Oh my God, the boys. This is Isaac. He's a gentleman, really cares about the community, does business things, fences, helps out the other characters every now and again. The ideal rich person that all rich people should be. Even if he believes in God, he's alright. I don't know if I would like him romantically, but that's for later. Uh, so yeah, then we got Sunder. God dang stupid sexy Sunder. I can't resist Sunder. I look at him and I'm like, goddamn. I'm not really into like facial hair all that much. I try to take mine out whenever I can. And honestly, I can't see him without it, and just he's gay up hot, and I can't resist. I think I would, and that does that mean I don't I don't think I can keep my transbian credentials after this. Finally, that right there, Valeria, she's my type, gay up, on God, no lie, mom spaghetti, on the fly. I would do many a crime in a Harley Quinn Joker type situation where she's the Joker and I'm Harley and I'm like all nice and like skin tight, suited up, you know what I'm saying? With big hammer. Where was I going with all this? Oh yeah, I think I'm just yapping over gameplay at this point. I wonder what editing me is doing right now, because I have no idea. Yeah, Boyfriend Dungeon is probably one of the most openly queer games of all time, and I will get into that. Usually, media has to pretend to be straight, like Naruto. Other times, it's aimed at girls, well, being the gayest thing you've ever seen in your entire life, and they can get away with it because it's for girls. Example, revolutionary girl Utena. And they can get away with it because if any man was to look at that stuff, their balls would immediately drop and they would immediately turn into trans women. That's just that's how it works. But the joke is on them because I have watched My Little Pony only like the first couple of seasons. I gotta get back to it. And I think I'm still eligible to procreate. I think. I don't know. I don't know about that one. In these shows, there is still a lot of queer baiting and room for doubt and interpretation, and many things that are implied, or the creators have to be super secret undercover agents and set their relationship up from like 5 seasons ago and like do all the baiting along the way until the very end, where there is nothing that the executives can do because the show is being cancelled, and that's when they finally drop it and they smooch. You get that smooch, and then everybody loses their mind, and all the Christians suddenly come out of the woodworks and they're like, "See, it's of the devil. I told you this game is show indoctrination. The kids, the gays, they're everywhere. The gays are everywhere. I see them in the walls. I close my eyes and I see the gays." So in Boyfriend Dungeon, which is what this video is supposed to be about, by the way, did I mention I'm undiagnosed? You choose your gender and any clothes you might want. There's even a they/them option in the menu there. and you can change any of these settings anytime you want. I don't know how I feel about the skin tone change, but it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I don't care. Do you care? I don't care. But because you can change your gender and your clothes at any time, in theory, this game acknowledges that you are gender fluid on purpose, because I noticed that you get different dialogue if you change your gender. I remember not getting a voice line when I went from, like, I think I went from she to they, and I didn't get a certain voice line that I noticed. So the game knows if you're fluid, I think. And even if you go with any pronouns, you're not limited to any other clothes at all. You can be a fanboy if you want. I don't. It's up to you, really. When you get texts from the different characters, you get referred to by your pronouns, proving that it's not that big of a deal. We indeed have the technology to do something so insignificantly small that just makes you to feel good. It's a video game. The first time I got referred to by a certain character by, like, by they them or whatever, and it was like, oh, you're non-binary just like me. It's so cool to meet another non-binary person. I remember starting another file, and I changed my gender in the middle because on accident, because I was trying to do something, and then I did it, and blah blah blah, and I got another message that was not that one. It was a nice touch. Games nowadays are letting you do whatever you want, and it's fine. You can, like, put whatever clothes, but I feel like this interaction and, like, the implications of figuring out who you are in a game where you're constantly battling your emotions, and how you can just switch your pronouns and it's just seamless, and everything's like, oh yeah, you're he her now. I mean, he her. You're yeah, you're a he him, or you're she her, or oh, you're they them. Whatever, it's whatever. Just whatever you said. That's what the game refers to you as, and that's it's kind of a utopia when you think about it. It's a little unrealistic to get everyone on board all the time, but I guess it's also unrealistic that the game basically lets you be poly. Also, the changing of the gender is kind of encouraged, because every time you go into the mirror to change your look, the first thing that pops up, the first screen, is the one with the pronouns and your name, and you can change your name too, I think. So you can literally have a whole trans identity crisis in game, and it's canon, and nobody really cares. They're just like, oh yeah, sure, you go by this now. I still like you, which means that technically every single character is pan. I think. Right? That's what that means, right? Everybody's pan. I think I'm pan because apparently I've dated, like, everybody, and it didn't really matter the gender. If I liked them, I liked them. I kind of wish real life was like this sometimes, but for now, I guess it's better to stay closeted for safety reasons. But if there's no, government agents, or your reputation is not gonna be ruined, I guess it's better to stay closeted. But you should still be out. You should be out online at all times. Let me tell you, just let the free colors fly, okay? They don't know who you are out in the middle of the street, as long as you're, not saying anything critical of a certain geographical location. It's fine. Apparently, they're crazy over there. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh yeah, hold on, gang. I think Valeria just gave me a beret. Is that why I like the beret? I forgot that this happened. It's a good thing that I'm playing the game again. I just sort of look at berets differently for some reason, and I'm like, oh, it's a beret. I kind of like it. I don't know why, but for some, like, I just do. And I think that this is the reason, because Honey with the hand wraps gave me a beret, and so now I am, like, emotionally attached to this hat. Is that what? Whatever. You know what? I'm not gonna ask any questions at this time. And here is some footage of the mom character that you can choose to call you or not. If you want to have a supportive parent and you want to know what that feels like, you can. It doesn't really affect the game. She just calls in and is just supportive, and I think it's nice. Anyway, yeah, she calls about the poly thing, and yeah, you can be like, I think I'm poly, maybe not. Like, there's so much like identity stuff going on here. Usually, monogamy is assumed, right? And if you go out with different characters, there's usually some kind of penalty and ramifications. Like in Stardew Valley, for example, if you get everybody, you get found out, you take some heat. I don't know if you can recover from that, but there's like an item that you can get, and it's a whole deal. But you're not incentivized in games usually to go after multiple characters. In Boyfriend Dungeon, you can date everybody, and you can see all of their paths, whether you want to be friends, casual, whatever their paths lead to, right? You can say yes or no. It's all up to you. I also, on a quick note, love how all the characters are very open with their emotions. Like, yeah, they do have some reservations, but they like confide in you about stuff, and like you have to like really think about and like process some stuff. There's apparently some pretty valid criticisms. I don't fully agree with them, but I see where people are coming from about the non-binary characters, where Sawyer is seen as the sort of like very young, definitely 20-year-old, like very young, the naive type of person that hasn't seen a lot of the world, and people kind of look down on them. And Rowan is this like fairy tale creature, like a witch and everything, very old, I think. I don't know. Ages are not really discussed. The only reason I know Sawyer is 20 is because they remark how in a year they'll be able to take alcohol, and so I'm like, oh, that's 20, right? And then there's also the game comes with drama because some of the characters will ask for space. Maybe they'll wanna break up after all. There's even certain options that will take you down the ace route, which means that you will only be romantically involved. These options, from what I remember, are few, but that's just how life is, and I'm glad that the options are there. I am a bit of a slut, so if I like, I like. You know what I'm saying? I had to do it. I think I was ace with one of the characters. I didn't really mean to, but I enjoyed his company. So I honestly, I don't mind. I really it playing it again. I had a great time. Overall, it was a great experience, and if you are questioning or if you want to play around with your gender and honestly your sexuality and identity as a whole, I think that Boyfriend Dungeon is pretty good. The gameplay is a little uh, stale, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. It's simple. You choose a person, you go in the dungeon, they become a weapon, and then you face your fears in the dungeons. All while earning a little bit of pocket change, which is not enough to cover the bill. So you will be leaving at the end of the summer when the apartment lease is up, or rent or whatever, and then you have to say goodbye, and the game just kind of ends. But that's uh, I guess it's a bit of a. It's not really a spoiler because you know from the start that you just have the summer. One thing I will say is that there is no actual time limit. You can play the game for as long as you want. You can go through every single route. At no point will the game say that time is up, right? It's just sort of a narrative device, right? This is not Persona. It's Persona Light. If that's a thing. Is that a thing? I don't know. Oh yeah, I also have to talk about one very specific character. It's obvious in hindsight if you know anything about the game, and you'll know who this is. It's a little bit spoilery, but I still want to talk about it. Basically, the character asks, "What do I do with my remaining time and money to help income inequality?" And I was like, dude, I have no idea which one of these options is the good one. And I had to take like a 5-10 minute just ponder session. So the choices were: number one, get involved in local activism. B, gain political influence. Or gamma, educate the masses. Here are my thoughts on the options. Local activism is pretty good. We should all do it when possible. But activism is sort of the spark of social change, and you have to get up in people's faces, disrupt the daily lives of citizens and the working class because they don't know or don't care about what's going on. So you need to organize, which is a good thing. Awareness is great. Problem. What do you do after that? Just causing up a stink is good to bring attention to a problem like wealth inequality, but we're talking about that specifically and wanting wages to be more equal. I don't know what would happen after that, because you have to, like, activism is the first step. You get people aware of a problem and then you organize and try to fix it, right? Which is where gaining political influence would actually be the better choice, because with political influence you could get the job done, but then we have the counter politics and everyone is backed by wealthy people, so eventually the funds would run out very quickly if you think about it. The anti-movements that will spring up due to the policies that will address income inequality, there's going to be a backlash, and I'm not saying that's like, we shouldn't do it like that, right? But we do see in real life how the minimum wage in America has been slowly rising over the course of 10 years to like $15 an hour, but that was supposed to be the minimum like 10 years ago. Now it should be like maybe 25, 35, somewhere along that range to have a living wage, right? And the wealthy people will do everything in their power to kick that can down the road. The inflation is never going to like slow down to the point where the wages are going to be able to catch up, and this is by design, right? So yeah, sure, everybody's gonna get the raise. It's just gonna not matter because it will never be enough, and it's not gonna keep up, right? There's a lot of powerful interest in politics, and while I think that going into politics and gaining influence is a great idea, I think that of the three choices, education. Real proper education, not the factory drone nonsense that we got going on. If we can properly educate the masses and have them thirst for knowledge, we will all become better as a society. This is the trickiest one of the choices because, like, education is more of like the seed foundation of social change. It's very long term. It's like the institution that's being attacked the most out of everything in our society, and the system will never give you the tools to fight against it. I ended up choosing education because I see it as the better long-term solution to addressing long-term inequality out of the three choices. And this character was already trying so hard to make so many changes. I think they really have made a lasting impact in this little Verona Beach city. They're basically left stranded without a legacy or anything, and that really sucks. But I think that was the right choice. I don't know, let me know in the comments, because I really had to think about, because you're not addressing, like, things like it's specifically not gender. It's specifically wealth inequality, right? It's not gender. It's not like a war that's happening, and that's such a it's such a difficult problem to address, because the economy, while very simple, is not that simple for the working class. The rich, they're at the phase where they're taking and not giving anything back, and so I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna go on. I'm already saying way more than I wrote down about this topic, so let's just go on. Anyway, the character said that they would fund the journalism section at a local college, and since Verona gets a lot of visitors and is supposed to be in California, or at least I think it's inspired by that, I believe that it can work out. Our journalists nowadays are kind of a joke. Yellow journalism has spread beyond its like SCP containment vault, and it completely shatters any amount of truth that we have in the media landscape. It's all about getting the clicks, and like I'm no different, right? But like I'm also not a journalist, and I care about honesty and the truth. So this one really hit home for me. I don't know how to fix the problems, but this person's gonna do something about it. And I think being able to critically analyze and ask hard questions like these can do the work of both activism and politics and education just all at once. If you just educate people, then they know about the issues and they are able to know when people are lying to their faces, and then activists sort of can speak to people who already know what's going on, and then they come in and it's just a whole thing. So sorry about the rant. Does that belong in this video about smooching swords and going into dungeons, beating up your traumas for pocket change? I don't know. World is messed up. My darling Sawyer reminded me of the man and his power, and it's all blending together, and all these people I love so much all have their own dreams and aspirations, and I'm just going into the dungeon to beat up monsters. It's a mix of emotions that I'm really happy exists, and I'm glad for all of the time and the memories and the people and everything, the music. I'm glad I was here. I'm glad to be a part of this experience, and I thank you, dear listener, for giving me the time of day. Check out Boyfriend Dungeon if you haven't. I will give you some tips. If you see someone you really like, you can use just that one person. The end boss, for lack of a better term, is available early, and you don't have to go out of your way to date everybody if you do not want to. Also, if you do want to go after everybody, it's better to level up one person to max as soon as possible with their affection, because you will get an item that will double your affection gains and will let you get affection beyond the cap. So you can just keep being inside of the dungeon over and over again, and you don't gotta leave or anything. And yeah, like I said, don't worry about the time limit. There's the time limit is just narrative device. You can take as long as you want. It's fine. All right, that's enough yap out of my trap. I will cease, hit the tap, work on a rap, get on snap benefits. Oh wait, that one's going away. Uh-oh. Good day. We're all gonna starve. Hooray! Also, I had otherworldly sexy times with a witch. 10 out of 10. I would recommend it.